Hello and welcome to another video in the Trangia cooking series. Today I'm going to be cooking a well-known traditional British meal, which is Toad-in-the-Hole, one of my favourites. Its origins go back to the 1800s, but there's a lot of mystery about where it originally kind of came from within the United Kingdom. But being that it's sausages cooked in batter mix like a Yorkshire pudding, it's probably from the north of England as a rough guess. You might find reference to it in older recipe books as a pigeon in a hole, so I'm assuming they must have put pigeon instead of sausages in the actual mix itself back in the day, and it must have migrated to sausages later on. So I've never cooked this before, fess up, I've never cooked this before in a Trangia. Everything I'm cooking on a Trangia from this point onwards are going to be purely experiments to see how they go. So you can kind of learn from my experiences, good and bad, to see how they work out. Now, I'm doing it in my garage again. I was going to do it in the garden, but there's too much noise going on, so I decided to do it in here. Let's see how it goes. I'm really interested, excited to see how this turns out. So it's the kind of things, again, I'd carry in my vehicle on a trip, like batter mix, eggs, you know, water, sausages in a cool box. I might be even tempted to carry this out on a wild camp for an overnighter somewhere. Maybe not on a long distance hike across Scotland maybe, but certainly on a smaller trip. So this is very viable. If you're carrying a Trangia, you can carry the ingredients. So this is just my little take on it, and I hope you enjoy and give it a go yourself. So do it. These are the ingredients I'm going to use for today's Toad-in-the-Hole recipe. Now, you could argue I can make my own batter mix. Yes, I can. I'm very able to. However, thinking along the lines of maybe, you know, a wild camp overnight and vegan camping with kids, you might not want the faff of having to make a batter mix. You might want something ready to go. So yes, you can make your own mix, but I've chosen for this video to use ready mix because that's what I've got and it's quick and easy. 2 eggs that I need for the batter mix plus 200 ml of water as per the instructions in the batter mix recipe. Sausages, I've elected to use some Bavarian bratwurst purely because they need using up, but also they're small, they're easy to cook, they're already cooked essentially, and you know, I've only got so much space in the Trangia, so that gives me more options there. I also like to add some red onion when I'm cooking the sausages, just to give the overall recipe a bit more flavour. So there's the ingredients. I've also got some granite oil to cook the sausages and everything in. Granite oil is quite a good oil. It's got a high burn point, and it's an all-round good oil. I quite enjoy using it. It doesn't smoke off and burn off like olive oil does. So yeah, this is what I'm going to be using today for today's recipe. So let's get going and get cooking. My Trangia set up now. It's the 25, the bigger one. It's got a full dose of bioethanol. That's it going. Now let's give that a minute or so just to kind of warm up, get all the actual vents going, and then chuck the pan on, a glug of oil, and just give that a few seconds to start warming up. So this is the Trangia that I've done every meal in so far. I had a guy comment the other day asking if I had any kind of long-term damage to any of my pans. So far, no, I've had no damage at all to my pans, so that's a good thing. Maybe luck, I don't know, but I'm not really exposing it to any kind of major kind of damaging heat, well, in my opinion anyway. Onions are going to go in now. Lovely, look at that sizzle. Again, it's really hard to only put like a quarter of an onion in, as I do like my onions. And I've got to remember I'm cooking on a Trangia, not my normal pans at home, which I could probably feed an army on. So I'm just going to get them going. Something about onions that when you start to fry them, it just smells amazing. You can almost eat the smell. But yeah, happy days. Let's see how many bratties I can get in there. Five, but is odd numbers good? I don't know. Yeah, I'll go with 5. Starting to get a nice bit of colour on them now. So the sausages are browned off nicely to a degree. So what I'm going to do, take them out. Yes, for the eagle-eyed of you, you'll spot there's a few missing. The smell of the onion and everything cooking was too much for me to resist. So I had some. So I've got 3 now instead of 5. So I'm just going to take the onions out. Try and leave as much of the oil in there as I can. And just I'll be coming back to this shortly. There we go. So let's leave that to one side. What I'll also do is just put out the flames if I can. Okay, put that to one side. I'm going to talk about the mix. So what I've got here, as I said earlier, eggs, 200ml of water and batter mix. Now sometimes on trips I've got containers like this which I can just, don't need to go anywhere, just crack open and drop in. The luxury of this is I can do the lid up and give it a shake. That does the mixing for me. Lovely. So that's well mixed. Now I'm going to put in the batter. Now another good thing about using a container to mix up is that I can use what I want and then store the rest of it in the container for later on if I want to make something else. Now being batter, I could do pancakes. Shut that in. And again, same process, put the lid on. Give it a good shake. There we go. And now I've got a lovely batter mix ready to go. Nice and simple, very little mess. Back to the stove. Just going to relight that. Need a better lighter really. Here we go. Give that a minute. Just to do its thing. Now, and pour a bit more oil inside the original pan. So like you would do Yorkshires at home, you want to put them into a warm, almost piping hot oil. Now, if I don't put the simmering on, what will happen is there'll be too much heat, I reckon. So I'm going to give that a few more seconds just to kind of get there, and then I'll just gently place that on. That's the kind of heat I want to achieve. Alright, just give it a minute just to make sure it's established. You can hear that kind of hiss sound. There's my spacers. I folded them in half. I might make them even smaller because then you're reducing the surface area in contact with the pan itself. So yeah, it looks a bit manky inside there, but I dropped some oil in there last time I used it. But actually a good wash and that'll be good. So I'm going to put that on there now. I'm also going to put the pan of oil inside. What I'm going to do then is put the lid on top and just give it a couple of minutes for it to warm up. Once it's warmed, I'll then pour what I need inside. Now that's given me 400 ml. Again, there's measurements on this as well, so it's ideal. 400 ml of batter. I'm probably going to use half of that. So then I've got an idea on how much I'm using. It's quick, it's easy, less faff, less mess. Really easy. All this is a 1 kilogram. There we go. Look, 1 kilogram yogurt tub, and I say it's totally sealable and good to go. So I'm going to give that a few minutes, and then I'll pour a bit of the batter mix in, and then when it's established, I'll pour the actual sausages and onion in. So I'll bring you back. So it's been 5 minutes or so, just enough to let the heat build up. Plenty warm, and now I'm just going to pour in about 200 ml or thereabouts of this mix. Probably thinking quite a lot of oil in there, but when it gets going, you'll need it. Spread it around a little bit. Again, I'll give it a couple of minutes and then I'll pour the rest of it in. Now it's on a low heat. You don't want it on too high a heat because it'll probably cook too quick at the bottom and burn. So it's on like a medium to low heat. So give that another 5 minutes, and then I'll chuck the rest of the ingredients in. That's 5 minutes past now. Still feel the hiss. The heat's coming through that now. So what I'm going to do is gently place the actual sausages into the mix. Again, at home it'd be easier, just chuck it inside there. So I started to firm up already, I can't even push that in. I'll just make a little line. So that's cooked a lot quicker than what I thought, considering it's on a really low heat. I'll leave that there. So yeah, that's interesting how it's probably where I've got it's higher on one end. So if I just do that, get some of the mix around. It's on a slight little lean as well, but hey, I'll leave that now just to do its thing. Give it 20 minutes or so and come back to it. Been a couple more minutes, literally about 3 minutes, and you can see, look, it's starting to do its thing. Bubble away nicely, starting to rise nicely as well. So that's only 200ml of that mix. I already feel it starting to do its thing. I think what I'll do next time is I wouldn't wait so long before I put the sausages and onions in. But yeah, it's certainly doing its thing. Happy days. Yeah, it's getting there, isn't it? Colour. What I might be tempted to do is actually flip it over and give it a quick kind of cook on the other side just to help speed things up. So it's got a nice crispy base, not burnt. I'm going to leave it on here for like 30 seconds or whatever. I'm going to take it off the heat. So I'll arguably say that's done now. So let's take it off the heat. Put that on there for now. Well, it's kind of worked. The sausages are falling out. I think that's purely because I didn't put the mix in quick enough. But not a complete disaster. I think if I do it again, like I said, I would not hesitate in putting the onions and sausage in. Get some of that out. So yeah, it's all the little bits, all the onion, lovely jubbly. So it's kind of it is a toad in the hole. So like I said, I just messed up when I didn't put the sausages in quick enough, but onion and all the flavours. It smells good. Let's do the old taste test. In fact, let's bring it up for that. Just going to cut a bit off. There it is, if you can see. So it's not a complete disaster. I say it has worked. It's just that where I didn't put the sausages and onion in quick enough, they just all fell out. But that's a lesson for me to learn next time. Like I said, I've never done this before. Is not wait too long for that to happen. But it started to crisp off up the top. It's well and truly kind of done. It started to rise, so I'm just going to cut a bit off. Hear that sound? Wow. So there we go. Yeah, that is definitely a winner. It may not look like a Michelin style toad in the hole, no Gordon Ramsay or Jamie Oliver, but it tastes good with the onion in it and the bratties, and hear the sound of it. Well, apart from what I've already stated where I messed up, I'm very happy with that. And something, when you got it on a low heat setting, you can kind of leave it just to get on with it. Maybe I might try it on a slightly lesser heat next time just to see if that makes a difference and if it helps increase the crispness on top. But either, just flipping it over just to finish it off was fine. Maybe could have left it a bit longer as well, but that's good. It's a meal. It's good, it tastes good, it's easy, it's very little effort, and something that I'll definitely give a go again with little tweaks here and little tweaks there. It's all a learning experience. I said I'm no expert when it comes to Trangia cooking. I'm just trying to cook things that I like to cook at home that I could utilise out in the field on a vehicle hike, a vehicle trek, or an overlanding trip, or out wild camping for an overnighter if I've got the Trangia with me. It's good to just try these little things, see what works. So hopefully that will inspire you to give it a go. If you like toad in the hole or whatever, give it a go, see what you think. I think it's definitely worth it. It's like you saw what I've just done then. It's no faff really, and you get a nice meal out of it. I think what I would do to complement this is maybe have some mashed potato or smash or Idaho and mash with some form of gravy. All achievable if you think about it. You could boil the kettle up with water and kind of do that in the last stages before you actually serve up. So yeah, and that'll be quite filling as well. I'm glad I ate the other two sausages. I think 5 in there would be too much, and if I was using real sausages I'd probably put 2 maybe in there, 3 tops. But no, that's banging. I'm really happy with that. Hopefully you've got something from this. If you give it a go, please let me know how you get on. If you mastered the crispness on top, let me know your little tips, tricks, any comments, any feedbacks, always appreciated. And yeah, until next time, I'm not sure what I'm going to be cooking next. I'm sure something will come into my head, but yeah. If you got this far, thanks for watching. Always appreciate people watching, commenting, and your support for the channel is very much appreciated. Take care.